Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Claire. I am an intuitive, I'm a coach and a conscious creator, which means that I aim to provide content wherever I am, whether it's just for myself or online, in the form of music, posts, videos, just to hopefully spark a little bit of love or a message here and there. One of my favorite things to do is to bring through messaging from guides, from ascended masters, from angels, from the angelic realms, wherever it comes through, because I believe that that is what we are, and that is the age that we're in. We're in this era of, I want to say, like intergalactic communication. And I haven't spoken about this yet. There was something that was like stopping me. There was a part of me that was saying, like, don't go there, don't go there. And it was my human fear. But I am going to share it, and whoever it reaches is whoever it reaches. Take what you want to take, leave what you want to leave. But I guess I ask you to be like open-minded in this space, but also like, use your own discernment based on how you feel about your own life and your own journey and your own path. But I do encourage people to tap into spirit in whatever way you can to get your own messaging, to get your own connection. Because ironically, sorry, I'm knocking my table again. Ironically, when I follow so many readers, like intuitive readers and like light language practitioners and whatever you want to call these people that are bringing through messages in all different forms. I follow all these people and they are just like, the same messages coming through. So the information is out there, is what I'm saying. It's out there for everyone. It's out there for you. It's out there for me. Sometimes it helps to listen to somebody else bring it through. Sometimes you can bring it through on your own. But I think my message to start with is to say, you don't have to be anything. Like, I have gotten to this point of bringing through messaging because I had to trust the journey. But it's not because I was somehow born as a, there is that aspect maybe, because I always kind of connected even as a kid. But I do think it's something that evolves and develops. And there's so much out there that can help you to get to that point. So that was the start. But the point of this video today is not that. Before I start, I just want to remind you, I do have a new community on Skool, Skool, on that platform, and you're welcome to join. It's still in the very early phases. It's evolving. I'm still figuring out what it's going to be, but you're welcome to join. For now, there's not much on there, but it will come as it goes. I'm trusting the path. I don't know where it's going yet. Okay, so today's video is about why is it important to slow our lives down for us and our children? Why is it important to slow our lives down, specifically for our children? So, where am I going to start? I am often like, what's the word? Like, I'm reluctant to bring through messaging that says, we need to stop. Like, we need to stop. But I feel the message coming through more and more strongly. Like, we need to do this for ourselves and our kids and the world. It's time for kids to feel connection, genuine, beautiful, powerful connection from us. It's time for us to navigate and manage their lives with them, co-creating, not forcing, because we are in a world now where children are being born, and then there are still things around us that have become so commonplace that we say a child is born, we need to teach them how to live on the earth by showing them how to do things, doing these educational programs from 2, 3 years old, making sure they read, maths, go to school, get good marks, blah, 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 like this is the. But what we are creating in these children is people who are of the old world. and the old world is now wrapping up to a close. And it might not be a fast process, nothing is fast. In spiritual time, it probably feels fast to like someone, to like God or whatever. But to us as human beings, it is a very slow process. And yet, when you look back, how much has changed over the years? So much has changed, even in like the school systems, and there is change happening everywhere. But now is the time to start stepping back from things that are training children to be a certain way. And that includes parenting, religion, schooling. There's so many things, even like as far as some of the extramurals that they go to, where they are being told, this is who you need to be, this is how you need to be. Now, I'm not saying that children need to leave all these things and have nothing. That is not at all the message as it's coming through. But we are being invited to start to imagine and envision a world where all of those things that children go to have changed so much that the world itself has changed. And there are many things that are resisting that change. And I think that's where the message comes in. So maybe this is a message to you today. Does it feel uncomfortable to you at like the thought? I have spoken to countless parents and people who are like, I wish I could take my kids out of the school system, but, and then there's a list, and I get the list. Logically, logistically, the list makes sense. I'm not here to talk about the list. This is not my message that, like, you can feel annoyed with me for saying this, but this is the message as it's coming through. Great, you've got the list. Look at the list and then say, why do I have this list? Why do I have this list? Kids are struggling at school, even the kids who are doing well, because the pressure of life is too much. Kids desperately need a slower life. And you can do that while your kids are still at school, but you will know when it's time to change because your child will tell you, whether they tell you in words or behavior, or that's the feelings, those are the feelings I started getting. And yes, maybe I'm biased because I've taken my kids out of the school system. We're unschooling, but I am still very much in the school mindset because I went to school. I taught in schools. Every day I am unschooling myself, learning what does this journey look like for us? Because I still don't know. I'm learning it with my kids, and I'm not perfect half the time. I don't know if we're doing what I want to do, but I keep tapping into spirit and asking for guidance because that's the path that I need to be on. So this is the crux of the message now, that as it's going to come through. A few years ago, I was doing a guided meditation, or no, not a guided, but I was doing a meditation with my guides, and I had an encounter with what can only sort of be described as like a alien life form, or like a non-human being. And at the time, I was really taken aback. I was actually quite scared. I'm not somebody who dives into any part of my spiritual journey like willy-nilly. Like everything has purpose, guidance. I always check in. I'm always making sure that I feel guided and supported on the journey. But I wasn't ready for that. And I asked the energy to step back, and I said, I'm not ready for this. Anyway, fast forward a few years after that, I went for a reading, and a lady that I went to the reading with said, I'm being encouraged to look into star systems and alternative, or like what's the word, like other life forms outside of human life, like other galaxies and star systems, and like opening our minds. Now, this is the way I look at it now. At the time, I went through a very difficult patch trying to figure this out. I just wanted to like live my human life, doing my human thing, and that was too much for me. But as I slowly started opening my mind to it, I started finding people online that were experiencing something similar, which didn't necessarily always make it easier because I was still like, this is weird to me. It's not necessarily in my comfort zone. But as I opened up to it and watched other people and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I started to see that just the way I had opened my mind to past lives, which felt so natural and so like, oh yeah, of course I had past lives. I did things in the past that my soul learned things, and then I, until I was me. And I have those lessons in my soul structure because I needed those lessons. That's the evolution of humankind. The evolution is the evolution of the soul. That's why we are constantly evolving, not just individually. We evolve as a world because we are all evolving as souls. So that to me made sense. That's the way I process it and understand it. And then this came up, and it was like, oh, I may have experienced life outside of this human physical body in a different realm. Now, I haven't had a lot of like experiences of it, but the ones that I have stuck with me and have been very powerful. And I felt I wanted to share it, and I wasn't sure if I was going to, but it feels like it's okay. Like it's okay. Whoever needs to hear it will hear it. If it's weird to people, then it's weird. That's kind of the fear that I've dropped, which is good. Like it's fine to share it. It's fine to share it. So, how do I share this part that makes sense to me even? I started feeling and hearing guidance around the place Lemuria, which you may have heard, kind of like Atlantis. And I mean, this had been like myths and whatever to me, which I still believe there is truth in every myth somewhere. It's in our DNA, it's in our soul DNA. There's a reason people talk about dragons and fairies, and I really do believe this. And then there's a part of my human brain, left side, that's like, crazy, you're crazy. Sorry, I heard like hooting and I stopped. No, I'm good. I thought somebody was here. Um, so I'm going to talk about it on the soul perspective. The human crazy side doesn't matter anymore. That side will maybe always be there trying to keep me in check, trying to keep me safe. But I started discovering this land and this energy of Lemuria. So what I saw and what I felt, and it brought so much emotion. It's like a land of crystals, a land of, and the way I see it and the way I understand it and the way I feel it is that it was a place on this earth where beings from other galaxies had come to start changing the frequency on this planet. But now we're going back maybe millennia. I don't know how long ago. It doesn't even matter, but a long time ago. And I felt that I had lived there. I felt this feeling of like, I've been there. And I felt this feeling of like, I know what it can be for a society to live in connection. And I had this feeling of like, we don't talk to each other sometimes. Human conversation is just, it's irrelevant. We speak telepathically. We speak to each other energetically. Our ideas flow and we are so cohesive with one another. Lemuria was just this beautiful place of connection and love and deep understanding of what was important. And I was told and guided to say that we are being called to connect to Lemurian energy, to connect to that again, because we can bring it here. We can bring that energy, that frequency, that vibe. We can bring it here. But it takes time. It takes, I don't know how long, I don't know, but it doesn't matter because the children of Lemuria were free. The children of Lemuria did not have to learn how to be themselves. They were trusted. You know who you are. I'm here to provide love. I'm here to provide support. I'm here to provide loving and kind boundaries where needed. But boundaries were different because the problem now that has come into this world is we have to provide boundaries around things that do not need to exist. um, and I want to say screen time. I don't know what that involves. I'm not saying what you should and shouldn't do. I mean, I watch TV, my kids watch TV. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the way that, like the trajectory of mankind, we are doing things that we don't really need to do. It's become part of our lives, but without it, life could be better. There could be more time in nature. There could be more time connecting. There could be more time The word that kept coming through for me was the crystalline grid. And if you don't know the crystalline grid, you can go look it up. People call it the ley lines, people call it the dragon lines. It depends on where you go in the world. But I had this vision of this crystalline grid, and this was when I first started like discovering all of this. I even kept hearing the words crystalline grid, and I'm like, or crystalline grid, and I was like, I don't know what that is. But it's like this grid that runs across the world, across the planet, that is so connected, like, the sacred sites of the world, and it's connected to God, to the divine, to ancient, beautiful messaging. And the point I was trying to make, rewind, zoop, back to where I was, is there was so much time back then to connect to these grids and to receive messaging constantly. Children receive messaging, adults, everyone. And it was almost this flow of lives live differently, families look different. There wasn't just like there wasn't just individual. And what do I want to do in my life? It was this cohesion of what are we doing? What I do is for you and what you do is for me, and it's a flow of energy. So before I carry on, the words are not important anymore. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Connect to your heart space. If you have a crystal, you can hold your crystal. If you don't have a crystal, just visualize a crystal at your heart if it feels comfortable to do that. And imagine this crystal amplifying energy, the energy of Lemuria, beautiful, pure, alive, joyful, loving Lemuria. And maybe your soul remembers this time, or maybe it just longs for a time when this is what things will look like. But we are being called to bring this into the world today, even in our own small way. Each small little thing adds up to something big. So in this moment, I'll invite you to visualize this beautiful crystalline city. And it's not a city like the cities we know. It honors nature. It honors science, but science always thinks of the collective. There will not be a single thing made that causes damage. Everything that's made is for the use of everyone. It's for the higher good of everyone. It brings us together. It doesn't bring hurt. It doesn't bring pain. It doesn't bring destruction. Everything is good. And as we visualize this, visualize the animals, and let your imagination run wild. The unicorns, the dragons, the ancient, beautiful beings that lived, the Lemurians, the children that were free, absolutely free. They were not born to fit into a world. They came to a world to help create it, and they were trusted and honored to do that. Tap into this beautiful energy and allow yourself to trust, if it feels right, that this energy exists today in your heart and in other people's hearts. If this is what you wish for, a world of love and connection. And I call in my Lemurian guide. And if you feel the guide close to you, you're welcome to call a guide in of any kind. I call in the Lemurian guides to bring in the light codes now that help us to embody this vision, this beautiful vision of love and light and freedom. And sometimes I feel humming brings the energy in more, so you're welcome to hum or just to sit in quiet, whatever works for you. And, just focus on your third eye space. Just imagine that third eye, there's a light, and that light is shining brightly, shining brightly. And we're being called to tap into light language. We've been called to tap into gifts and talents, or gifts and natural being of who you are. Tap into the root of who you are, and trust that there is so much beauty inside your soul, and let yourself allow that to come forward. Let's honor the children of our world. In this moment, I'll invite you to visualize a light. This light is moving at absolute lightning speed to the hearts of all the children open to receiving it. It's not forced. A light that travels from heart to heart to the children who are ready to receive it, to open their hearts up to more love, to more light, to more guidance and connection from Spirit. And as this light moves through, allow that light to touch your heart. Maybe you want to visualize yourself as a child receiving that light. Maybe you didn't even know that you did. And let that light shine strong in that heart, right in your heart and soul. And then a big reminder that you are always loved and protected. This work is only of the highest good for all. It is never meant to bring harm or fear. It's not meant to make things worse or harder. It is only here to bring good. And the guides want to come in. And I feel I need to share this because I feel it is important. They want to thank me for being brave enough to share a message which I did not want to share, because I do not always want to be open about these things. I'm going to open my eyes and talk for a second. But I do feel it's important that I share these messages, as uncomfortable as it can be for me sometimes. Growing up in the Catholic religion, in fairly conservative belief systems, sometimes it feels hard to share things that seem different and weird, but in my heart they don't feel weird. If anything, they feel less weird than what I was taught on earth. It feels like coming home. It feels like coming back to what's real. So I'll invite you to open your heart and to remind yourself that even if sometimes things feel weird or different or strange, trust that you are loved and guided and held every single step of the way. I know we often say you just need to ask. Sometimes you don't even need to ask. I don't believe you need to ask at all. The guidance and the protection and the love is always there. But when you ask and when you trust, it feels stronger and it's easier to work with and co-create with. So I think that's my message. So I encourage you to do that. I hope this message was recording. Oh, it was. If it wasn't, then I just did it for myself, but it was. So I hope that this message brought you something that can help you on your own journey. And I'm sending love from my heart to yours. And I wish you a wonderful rest of the day. And thank you for being here. Bye, everyone.